Evolution of Rex. Rex makes his debut appearance in the 1995 first animated movie in the eponymous famous franchise, Toy Story, in the supporting role, voiced by Wallace Shawn. Here, he appears as a relatively big green plastic Tyrannosaurus Rex toy, with two three-fingered small arms and two massive hind legs. Despite his species as well as his larger body size, he's often shy and hypersensitive and frequently experiences anxiety and even fear that he's not scary enough, and that his owner, Andy, will replace him with a scarier toy dinosaur. While his positive qualities include gentleness, kindness, and care for others, as well as a dislike for arguments or confrontations. In the story, even though he plays a secondary role in the background of Sheriff Woody and Buzz Lightyear figuring out their relationship, his personal story arc as well as his connection to the other toys gets explored. Specifically, right from the get-go, he happily greets newly arrived Buzz and soon develops a good friendship with him, like he already has with other toys, especially after Buzz helps him produce a truly scary roar, which he couldn't do on his own, as shown when he had failed to scare Woody previously. At the end, after both Woody and Buzz give him helpful advice as well as provide their examples of what everybody should work on, he has clearly undergone a change in his thinking, to the point that now on Christmas, he explicitly states that he wishes Andy would be gifted another dinosaur, albeit a herbivorous one, for him to scare and be friends with. Then, in the first series of animated short commercials, Toy Story Treats, Rex is featured as one of the characters in the main focus, interacting with other toys in a funny way, or behaving comedically himself, such as when he puts on a goldfish bowl to pretend he's a space ranger like Buzz, or when he uses Hand in the Box to scratch his itchy back, voiced by Wallace Shawn. Next, Rex reappears in the 1999 animated movie sequel Toy Story 2, again in a supporting role, voiced by Wallace Shawn. In the story, he's pictured as an even more avid fan of Buzz, even showing him playing the Buzz Lightyear Attack on Zurg video game in Buzz's cosplay, though he couldn't win because of his short arms. Later, Rex takes part in the search party for Woody, who had been kidnapped and prepared for sale abroad by a greedy toy collector, Al McWiggin, believing that his video game experience has trained him for an adventure such as this. Although he ends up being unwillingly used as a battering ram to open the entrance to Woody in the process, he does also play a heroic role when he inadvertently defeats real toy Zurg on their path by turning away out of fear, and thus pushing Zurg into the elevator vault with his tail, much to his excitement. At the end, he happily reunites with Woody, Buzz, and all the other toys, as well as tells Pig Ham that he no longer needs to play the video game because he has lived it. Rex cameos at the beginning of the 2000 animated movie Buzz Lightyear of Star Command: The Adventure Begins, among the other toys excitedly preparing to watch the movie on the TV. Rex then reappears in the second set of animated shorts, Toy Story 2 ABC Interstitials, being featured in almost every episode, in which he continues to have his funny interactions with the other toys, as well as now also communicating with the audience by saying, "Good morning, America." Next, a giant Rex can be seen in the outtakes for the 2001 animated movie, Monsters Incorporated, where he's greeted by the main characters during his auditioning for the role in the movie. Following, Rex cameos as an inanimate toy in the 2008 animated movie WALL-E as part of WALL-E's home object collection. Then, in the animated short series Buzz Lightyear Mission Logs, set before Toy Story 3, Rex appears together with Buzz and Ham as Buzz tells them about his space trip. In the 2010 animated movie sequel Toy Story 3, his appearance marks the last time in the franchise when he plays a prominent secondary role, voiced again by Wallace Shawn. In the story, set many years after the previous one, like all the other toys, Rex goes through a journey of acceptance that now grown-up Andy, who still cares about them, nevertheless now has different grown-up interests and has to move on with his life, separating from them as a result. Although at first he and other toys experience a lot of anxiety and even fear about being abandoned, in the course of the movie, all of them learn how much Andy truly appreciates them, and that even if their future owners will inevitably outgrow them, they have each other, no matter what, culminating in Woody suggesting to Andy to pass them to his girl neighbor, Bonnie, who gladly and happily accepts all of them into their new and loving home, during which Andy describes Rex as the meanest, most terrifying dinosaur who ever lived, fulfilling Rex's innermost wish. In the credits, happening sometime after, Rex can be seen bonding and befriending Bonnie's female Triceratops as they play on the computer together. Rex cameos in the stop-motion animated TV show Mad in the episode Starblech/You Glee, where he gets spoofed in the new version of Toy Story 3 with several new rejected characters. The next animated TV short series, Toy Story Toons, features Rex in all 3 episodes, first helping Barbie and Ken recreate a Hawaiian vacation at home after Bonnie and her parents leave without them. Then one time, Bonnie is shown to play with Rex and Buzz at a fast food restaurant, where, unbeknownst to Rex, she accidentally takes home a kids' meal's mini hyper-energetic version of Buzz, making Rex think that Buzz has shrunk, until the real Buzz shows up and corrects the matter. And finally, after Rex gets taken by Bonnie to be played with in the bath, he organizes a water party with other toys, resulting in a flooding of the entire house. Then, Rex appears in the animated sketch TV show Robot Chicken in 3 episodes, first in Kramer vs. Showgirls, where he is among the toys who witness Andy's horrifying adult relationship with his new girlfriend. Then in Secret of the Flushed Footlong, he and his friends meet a new toy, Pinko, who brags and demeans them for being inferior to it, because its purpose isn't predetermined like theirs, until Andy comes and throws it into the trash can. And last, in Molly Lucero in Your Friend's Boob, Rex organizes other toys to group together and attack Andy's new computer to free him of its powerful grip. But their plan quickly fails after the computer notices Rex and beats them all into pieces. Following, Rex is featured in the 2013 first holiday animated special, Toy Story of Terror, voiced by Wallace Shawn. In the story, he and others go through a mysterious Halloween-themed journey, in which, after he as well as other toys get taken by Bonnie on a road trip, they end up in a local motel, where each of them gets suddenly kidnapped at night, requiring the remaining toys to investigate, eventually uncovering a secret operation by the motel's manager and his iguana pet, with whom he was stealing various objects, intending to sell them online, and freeing Rex and others as a result. Next, in the second holiday TV special Toy Story That Time Forgot, Rex appears as one of the central characters, voiced by Wallace Shawn. Here, after Bonnie takes him and others to play at her friend Mason's house, she ends up leaving them in another room to go and play on Mason's computer. There, Rex, Trixie, Woody, Buzz, and others encounter warrior battlesaurs from Mason's new playset, who aren't aware that they are toys yet and thus capture Woody and Buzz, as well as incorporate Rex and Trixie into their ranks, giving them special warrior gear as a result. However, once battlesaurs learn that both Rex and Trixie are in cahoots with Woody and Buzz and are owned by a human, they attack them, even remotely hijacking Rex and using him to try and throw Woody and Buzz into the air ventilator's propeller, until Trixie manages to show their leader that they're truly toys, allowing them to turn off the computer and free the kids' attention to go and play with the toys, saving Rex and others in the process. In the 2019 animated movie sequel Toy Story 4, Rex returns to the scene, though now in a much less noticeable way, mainly showing him in the background throughout the whole movie, with several occasional intrusions, which include asking questions, commenting and expressing his feelings about what is going on, frequently mirroring the probable thought processes of the audience members, such as when Woody introduces a newly created toy of Bonnie Forky to Rex and the others. He comments on how long his arms are, or at the end, after Woody decides to stay free with Bo Peep and not return to Bonnie, Rex gives Woody a hug and then asks Buzz whether Woody is now a lost toy, to which Buzz answers that Woody's rather not lost anymore. Rex has a guest appearance in the animated series of shorts Forky Asks a Question in the episode What is Time?, in which he explains to Forky the concept of time, using the example of dinosaurs, who lived millions of years ago, after which, in the end credits, the two can be seen roaring and chasing after a confused wooden sauropod toy on wheels. Then, Rex appears in the excerpt episode Toy Story Traffic Cone Rescue, in the live/animated TV series Pixar in Real Life, which shows Rex, Buzz, and other toys during the events of Toy Story 2 as they cross the road under red safety cones in an attempt to rescue Woody, causing total mayhem as a result. Following, in the animated short series Pixar Popcorn, Rex gets featured in the very first episode, To Fitness and Beyond, where he's initially shown failing to do push-ups due to his short arms, like all the other toys with their exercises, until they all find their own way of doing them and thus achieve success. Next, Rex cameos in the animated TV show Win or Lose, in the episode Steal, under the bed of one of the characters. Finally, Rex appears in the 2026 animated sequel Toy Story 5, where he and others face a new obstacle on their path, a smart tablet, Lilypad, which threatens to endanger their place as toys again. But now for Bonnie, by overtaking all her attention, requiring their cooperation to deal with this serious issue, with voice acting by Wallace Shawn.